On this episode of the Layover Live, we're talking content with the multi-talented Sandy Jordan. Welcome everyone to week 4 of the Layover Live, where we bring you the top article from the Layover each week. I'm Jason Swick, Director of Digital Marketing here at Simpleview, and do I even really need to introduce you? Everybody probably already knows who you are. So Sandy Jordan is here with us, Director of Content Marketing. Super happy to have her here. And the reason is we're talking content today. This week's can't miss article for the Layover comes from Google. Really, Gary Ilias had a talk last week at SMX East, talked about there was issues maybe if sites are pruning their content or trimming their content back. That got SEOs all razzled and frazzled, and John Mueller even from Google came out and corrected in this article. So it's a really good article to read. But pruning back your content is really not a bad thing, right? Get rid of some of the bloat. So Sandy, I know you guys do that on your team, running a whole content team over there. When you guys are doing your audits, you recommend building new content, trimming back content. So maybe talk about that a little bit and why we shouldn't be concerned.
Cut or not to cut, right?
Right.
It's scary.
Right.
Makes everybody nervous. And it should, because every page of your website has the potential to pull a little bit of traffic.
Yep.
So once you start doing that at scale, you do have the potential of chopping some of your total sessions, and it's a numbers game. So the first thing that you want to do is make sure that you're being very strategic about what you're cutting out. Mm-hmm. So what you'll want to do is take a look at all of the pages of your website. Mm-hmm. You can do that by either looking at your XML sitemap or using a service like Screaming Frog to pull a list of all your URLs.
Yep, great piece of software.
Compare that to what you have in Google Analytics. Look at a year's worth of traffic and look at the low-hanging fruit first. Do you have pages that just get no traffic at all? Mm-hmm. And look at what that experience is like, right? Because that's what this is all about. All we're trying to do is make a great experience for the user. So back in the day, it used to be super cool to create a page of every cuisine type that's represented in your CRM, right?
Right.
So
load up content for the sake of content, right?
So we would have like Thai restaurant in X destination, and we'd have a title, and we'd have a listings widget with like 2 restaurants in it, right? So anybody with a map and a little bit of coding skills can make that page. It's not really offering a great experience. So if that page is still on your site and it's picking up maybe 5 sessions throughout the year, that might be a good one to cut, or that might be a good one to actually sit down and write some content that describes what it's like to go to a Thai restaurant in your destination. So those opportunities are the ones that you want to look for. And if you've got something to offer, and DMOs are in a really unique position to do that because they can tell the story like no one else can, offer that content. Yeah,
good. It makes a good point. I think you nailed it right on the head. It's, hey, if it's content worth expanding on, let's refresh that and repurpose that. But if it's content just for the sake of having content on the website, and it's driving very limited engagement, very little visits, probably not the best choice, right?
Search algorithms are sophisticated now, so we don't need to have every single keyword represented by one page anymore. We need to create an experience that people enjoy.
Yep, very true. And that's great because it brings us to our question of the day, which is around content, right? And actually a question that we get all the time. So this comes from Jason at the Hershey Harrisburg CVB, right? And he talks about, is there any way that we are able to give some broad targets around bounce rate, time on site, pages per session? This is a question we get all the time. Constantly. So maybe Sandra, let you answer that.
Yeah, everybody wants to keep up with the Joneses, right?
Yeah, right,
so they're always trying to compare.
Check temperatures.
And it's a little difficult to do. And to answer that question, we have compiled an industry averages study that we maintain, close to 200 websites. We're looking specifically at the Google Analytics data for DMO sites. Now, there is a caveat to that. You do have to understand that every website, even though they're all promoting destinations, they do operate a little bit differently. Some are selling tickets, some are heavy on mobile, light on desktop, some are vice versa. So you do have to understand that this is just a watermark, and the best way to make sure that you are consistently improving is looking at your own performance year over year and making sure that you're improving. But if we're looking at an industry average, typically people are looking at 2 pages and they're staying on for a couple of minutes. and they bounce around 55-56% of the time. 7 out of 10 of those are typically new sessions. So that's an industry average or a standard that you can kind of compare yourself to. But the best thing to do is to make sure that you know what your goals are, what it is that you're trying to achieve, and that your website is hitting that. Because you could run into a situation where you've improved the UX on your site through a new design, or you change the architecture of the site, and then you see those metrics start to drop. Because maybe users have now easily been able to navigate your site and they're not trying to figure out where things are, so time on site has gone down.
Yep.
That doesn't automatically mean that you're performing badly. So make sure that you're using these metrics to paint a picture of how the users interact with the site, and then you're also looking at what those conversions are, and are you hitting your goal?
Yeah, no, that's great advice. And it's also important, I think, to point out too that, as we're moving to a mobile first world, some of these metrics are going to change a little bit naturally.
Yeah.
You nailed it on the head in the fact that I think we got to start thinking about, although engagement is absolutely important, it's a goal for many DMOs and we strive to push that as well. We got to think about what happens after the click.
Absolutely.
Start thinking about completing desired actions are more important. Typically people are more engaged, complete those desired actions, but you got to look at a holistic picture.
Absolutely.
So thanks for sharing that. And Jason, thanks for sharing that as well. We really do appreciate you submitting that question. And for anybody else that has questions, we are able to submit those through the Layover on SimpleView's website or through the emails that we send out each and every week. Please get those in because we'd love to answer those on the air. Thank you for this week, and we'll see you next time.